Hello, Lama from BakuDev, and welcome to the last part of our build system tutorial series. In this part we're going to create a little build menu where you can select the buildables out of your data table you've created, which gets auto-populated, and we are also going to create the character controller which actually populates it and works with all the events. As always, you can get the complete project files of this tutorial series on our Patreon. It would help us a lot, it would mean a lot. But let's get right into the tutorial. So let's start by creating a little UI folder in our build system folder. And inside that we're going to create widget blueprints. User widget, the first one will be wg_build menu item. We can duplicate that because the second one will be build menu. And we're also going to create this third one, which will be our build HUD, or not just HUD, build HUD, not HUG, oh my god, HUD, okay, perfect. So we're going to start with the build menu item, and that will have to look like the following. Let's just go over into here, and the first thing you will have to drag into here is a canvas, obviously. After that we're going to take into border. We're going to change the brush color of the border to grayish color. We're going to select desired over here, and after that we are going to create a button and drag that into the border, and into the button we're going to drag an image, and also like so. You have to select size to content on the border, and after that we're going to select text, put it, no, first let's wrap the image with the horizontal box, because now we can put text next to it, and we're also going to put another text next to it, like so. And if we now give the text a padding of 20 is a little bit much, 5, or no, let's do 10, and let's give this a padding of 10 as well. We're also going to give this a padding of 10, and we can center that to the middle. And now we are going to call that preview image, and we're going to call that name variable. We're going to call that size, and hit this variable, and now we're going to save that. The preview image, by the way, is only placeholder. We're only going to take care of the text, but it will be pretty safe explanatory how you are going to add another things like preview images, colors, rarities, whatever. We're just going to show the concept in this tutorial. So let's delete all of these and start creating some logic. The first thing you will have to do is on buildable selected to create an event dispatcher, and also we're going to create a variable for our buildable, which is held in this widget item, and it's struct buildable. And yeah, now we can create a new, right click, construct thingy, and we're going to take the name, and we're going to take our buildable, get break, and we're going to set the text, this pink one, put the name into here, and like so. And we can now create, let's just do that, plug that back into here. Just needed the append node. We're going to need 5 appends. The first one will be X, second one Y, third one Z, and this will be space X space, space X space. So we know the grid size, and we're going to use that. We're going to take the size and set the text there as well, and do it like so. Connect these. Perfect. Save, compile, go back into the designer, because we're going to have to turn the button into a variable, and we're going to call it button item. Compile, save, go into the graph, and now we can go here and select onClicked. And onClicked we're going to call our event dispatcher like so, and then select the event dispatcher, and inputs will be buildable of type buildable, struct buildable like so, because now we can just take our buildable and pass it through, and now we can save that, and that's the actual build item. Perfect. And we can close that, and now head over into our build menu, and we're going to start that off by the canvas panel like this. Also put in a border, put that into the middle, like so, and into that border we're going to put a scroll box, and into that scroll box we're going to put build menu items like this, and we are going to give that like 800 times 900 I think, and give it a darker color like this. And if we now take that and duplicate it sometimes a little bit more, we can see that we now have a scroll box. We can stretch it. Doesn't really look good, we're just going to leave it like it is. And now we're going to compile save, and that's basically that. We just have to turn the scroll box into a variable, sb build items like so. You could obviously make it look a little bit better, but I'm not good at designing, to be honest. So now we're going to take the scroll box, and we are going to delete these because we only need construct. I should make this a little bit smaller. And now we can clear the children on construct, get data table row names should be it, and now we're going to take our data table buildables we've created in the last episodes, and we're going to do for each loop, and we can now get data table row from that, like this, connect that, and the out row can be broken, and we're going to, do we even have to break it? No, we don't. Because we can now, if the row was found, create widget, and we're going to select our build menu item, compile save, click on the browse icon because we're going to have to open it again. In the variables in the graph on buildables, you're going to have to check that little eye here and expose it on spawn, because that will make it, if you now hit right click and refresh it, so we can pass in the buildable. And we are also going to bind event to buildable selected and create a custom event over here on buildable clicked like this, and now we can create another event dispatcher which is buildable clicked, and we can call that, but in the inputs, just like the last one, we're going to create a buildable from the type buildable like this, and we can now compile save and put that into here, just like that, and that already concludes the build menu, I think. Yes. Does it? No, wait. I have to get the scroll box and add a child. Pretty important, so we actually can see it in our list. Like this and this. Okay, now it's right. Okay, compile, save, and that's our build menu, and we're now going to take care of our pawn so he can actually open it. We've changed that to left mouse button because that will be our control, and we can copy that and just select B over here, and that should not happen on begin play. So let's just delete that, and in the begin play we can actually also delete that, but on build we're going to first create a variable which will be called open widget, and that will be of type widget object reference, like so, and we're going to get, right click, convert to validated get, pressed. If it's valid we want to remove from parent, and then we want to start or stop. Do we even have that already? Wait a minute. So first we're going to have to create the actual event for stopping the build preview, because at the moment we only have the start preview, and if we do that we're going to take our not preview rotation, preview timer, and pause timer by handle so that here does not get executed anymore. And after that we're going to take our preview actor and destroy it like this, and also we're going to set our selected buildable to nothing, and we can now compile and save. Perfect. And we can now go back over to our first person character and yeah, continue. After we've removed that from the parent, we now can actually call stop build preview. If the open widget is not valid, we can do that right away. If it's valid, we first have to remove the widget from parent and then stop the build preview. After that, we're going to create a widget from class, and it will be wg underscore build menu, the one we've just created, like so, and get player controller for the owning player, and we're going to set our open widget to that, and then add to player screen. Viewport also works, but I like to use player screen because that's split screen proof. Yeah, and then we will have to bind our build menu widget, the event on to buildable click, the one we've created in our build menu. We're going to have to bind that to a new custom event. We're going to call on build item or on buildable clicked, like that. Or no, let's just start build like that, and we're going to take our build ability and start build preview like that, and in the start build preview double click that because we're going to have to tune that. We're going to set the selected buildable, and we can just rename that to just buildable like that, compile and save. And if we now go back into the character, we can just pass that current buildable. Let me just check if we're actually using that at the moment. No, we're not. So when you're spawning it right here in the class, get your selected buildable and break it so you can pass the class into here like this. Anywhere else? No. Yeah, make sure you change that also. And after that we can take our open widget, because once the build preview started we can close the widget, so once one buildable is selected. And we are also going to do that over here as well. Set input mode UI only, and we're going to get our player controller again, and we're going to show mouse cursor and turn that to true, and then just copy paste that down here. And no, wait, we have to delete that because we set input mode game only, and connect the player controller into here, connect the player controller into here. Widget to focus can be the widget you've just created, so you can put that into here. Input mode game only, so we can connect that. And yeah, while we're at it, we can also just create our build HUD we've just created, so we don't have to do that at the end. Copy paste our player controller like this and set open widget to that, and we are also going to add to player screen like so, and yeah, that should be it. Yes, I think so. Let me just check real quick. We can just test it by going in game, pressing B. If I now select one, it's closed, but I can still see my mouse cursor. Got a lot of errors because I did not do that. And if we now test B and select one, I'm back to normal. Perfect. Okay, so that's that. It should look like that. I deleted the event begin play once. Don't do that. We still need that. And that should look like that. And yeah, after B, the function I've just described. So if I now go in game, we can see I've got no build preview. I can move as normal. And if I now hit B, I'm in my build menu. And if I now also the names populate from the data table. If I now hit 2 by 1, you can see that I've got it, I can place it, and if I now want to change to 1 by 1, I can do that by pressing B again. So that works. The only problem is we're now stuck forever in the build mode. So let's just implement some functionality to change that, and we're going to do that by copying these, and I'm just going to use E, I guess. And we are going to stop the build preview, and that should be it. No, we should also close the open widget, but only if it's valid. Then remove from parent, like so. Compile, save, stop build preview. We obviously need to connect it to buildability. And if we now go in game, hit B, place some, hit E, no build mode anymore, like so. Perfect. So that works. And if we now even go into our UI, no, not here, in our system building system UI, and go into the build HUD, we can put a canvas panel into here. Then take a horizontal box and anchor that to the bottom, and if you can set size to context, and now we're going to get a text and put our controls into there. Let me just put my my first person character on my second monitor so I can actually see the controls. And if we now go into the HUD, we can see that left mouse button is like that, build. And if we now duplicate that, and right mouse button is nothing actually, R is rotate, and if we duplicate that as well, E is quit, and B is the build menu, like this. Quit should be on the complete right, that should be like this. Yep. If we now select all of them and give them a padding of 50, is way too much, 20, like this, and save, compile, and now go in game. I've got 1,000 things open, like this, and now start. and select the 2x1, we can now see that our HUD is at the bottom. Obviously the lobby HUD is still above that because it's a testing level. Don't worry about that. But yeah, we have our menu there, and if we now hit quit, we are just out of it. And yeah, rotate is rotate, build is build. I think it's pretty straightforward now. Yeah, but one thing I want to add really quick is you probably noticed you can't destroy things yet, so we're just going to implement that real quick. And to do that, we're going to go into our buildability, and then we're going to, what does it has to be? Wait, look at actor. We need a variable look at actor, and that variable will be BP base. No. BP buildable, the normal one, so object reference, and compile save. We're going to set that in here to nothing, because if we don't hit anything, we want it at nothing. And we can then where we let's just take a sequence over here. That makes it a little bit easier, and we're going to try to and then we're going to cast to BP base or BP buildable, and we're going to connect that to the second one. And if the cast is successful, we want to set our look at actor to that. If it fails, it just does nothing. So that works. And now we want a request destroy event as well. So request destroy, and there we don't have to check for anything. We have to get look at actor, convert to validated get, and if it's valid, we want to custom event server destroy, and we are going to call server destroy if that's valid, and we're going to destroy actor, but put that into here like so, and put the look at actor into here. You can even rename it, makes it a little bit to destroy like so, and then let me just correct that real quick. Actor to destroy. Okay, perfect. And if we now go into our first person character again, and if I take my right mouse button and copy that and request destroy, pressed, and go in game like this, and like that place, and if I now hit right click, I can just destroy it, which is quite convenient. Yeah, don't worry about the lags. I don't know if I'm recording and having two Unreal instances open, my PC is at its limit. But yeah, you can destroy now, so we can now take that into our actual HUD. Just copy that, and if we now select right mouse button, it will destroy. Yeah, perfect. And just to show off the system, if we now go into data table buildables, and if we duplicate this row but call it test and save it, and again not re-import, and go level lobby start, we can see now the test thing is in here as well. We can use it and everything works. And that pretty much concludes the build system. There might come a little bug fixing video in the future where I sort out some bugs I might have put into this system, but I think it's a pretty good starting base. I think if you are creating it for your own game, you're going to change a lot of things anyway. You're probably not going to use this ugly build menu, but I just wanted to show you the concept, and also the concept of placing, destroying, passing the events through the widgets and so on. I hope that that helped you and you understood it. If not, and if you still have any problems with the system, don't hesitate to join our Discord. I'm happy to help. And yeah, as said, that concludes the series. Hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next one. Bye.